Hello everyone, this is 10X Generation and this is my road to $1 billion. So today was a fairly productive day. I got a good amount done. I wish I got a little bit more done, but we got some done. And let's get into it. So the first thing I got done was, or the main thing I got done was getting the connection pooling down. So the issue with I have for this cloud sharing platform, I need to have these functions that exist inside the cloud, i.e. Lambda functions, and they need to connect with my database. But every single time you invoke that function, it creates a new connection to the database, which that connection can take a couple hundred milliseconds, which may not seem like a problem, but when you're billed by the millisecond, it gets really expensive, especially if we start getting the traffic that I expect. So I don't want that to be a major financial bottleneck. So what I want to do is somehow reuse connections. So you connect once, and then that connection it can be reused when the next person connects. And the strategy for doing that is called connection pooling. So I wanted to implement connection pooling in my program, which wasn't a difficult thing to do. But there were a lot of extra considerations I had to make. It's generally considered bad practice to have a Lambda function to have a thing called a state. It's supposed to be stateless, meaning that any Lambda function looks like a Lambda function called in time looks like any other Lambda function called in time. There's no data associated with it. But by introducing these connection pools, it gives it a state. When you connect to it first, it has no connections, it has to make a connection. And then the second time, the third time, the fourth time, it doesn't have to make a connection anymore. And that causes, that can introduce additional billing. But I couldn't really find any information about how much more billing. So, hey, is it going to be more expensive than the connections? I don't know. So we're just going to see. We're going to roll with that. In addition to that, I implemented a thing called RDS proxies, or an RDS proxy. And what that is, it's a layer that sits between the Lambda functions, or the functions in the cloud that you can call via my API, and the database that holds all the data. It sits in between those two. And it kind of serves as like a gateway or a guard, or just like a bodyguard or something that manages connections, makes sure that the connection limit isn't exceeded, and it's used for, again, connection pooling. So when you connect to it, what it'll do is sometimes reuse those connections, and it just makes the entire thing more robust and scalable. So with the addition of those two things, the connection pooling and the function Lambda function, and the RDS proxy, with the addition of those two things, my Lambda functions not only run way faster, but they're also more scalable. I don't know the cost component. We're just going to have to see as I implement it, but it's all part of the game and part of the fun. So that's super duper cool. Another thing that happened is I submitted my pitch deck. So we're gonna see if the investor finds it interesting. I'm usually confident with these things. We'll see. We'll see. But I'm fairly confident that I'm gonna at least move on to the interview part. And you already know what I'm gonna ask for: $10 million to 100x what I was able to do last year. So that's super cool. And I was having a bit of fun this morning, or not this morning, just earlier today. I was imagining the scenario where they're like, hey, so how much do you want? And I'm like, $10 million. And they're like, what makes you think that we're gonna give you $10 million? Why would you even ask that? And in my mind, I'm just like, hey, I want 100x everything I did the year prior. That's the reason why. I don't know. That just seems like a funny moment in my head. I doubt it's gonna go that way, but it's funny. So yeah, but some mental things happened today that I thought were pretty interesting. So the first thing, I was thinking about how the way you start your day really affects the rest of your day. the tone you set for the beginning of the day is almost the most important thing. Yesterday wasn't a super good day. I was tired all day, and I think there's a lot of different factors as to why I was tired, but why I wasn't motivated was weird. And I think it's because of this. So I woke up yesterday really early at around 4 o'clock, which that happens often, but today I wanted to actually get up and use that time. I didn't want to sit in bed, so what I ended up doing was just watching, honestly, Minecraft like speed runs. I was watching Minecraft speedruns, and then I was like, okay, I'm good. And then I went back to sleep, and I woke up and I was super unproductive. And all I wanted to do was sit and watch YouTube. It's because I had already like primed my brain into thinking, and thinking today was a relaxed day. So what I did today was prime my day on today as a programming day. First thing I did when I woke up in the morning, not open up social media, I opened up my computer and opened up my IDE, or my coding editor. That's the first thing that I did. And I did a little something for 2 minutes, a minute, and that primed my brain to say, hey, today's a programming day. Today we're going to get work done. And it worked. Well, I won't say it worked or it didn't work, but I think that could be an effective strategy. And the second thing I was thinking about was, one of my other videos, I was talking about how the red pill content really makes me kind of like depressed, honestly, because it's just negative and people complaining. And I was thinking, what would be the best kind of content to watch? The absolute best kind of content to watch, just in the background while I'm doing something else. What would be the best kind of content? I was thinking through, and I came to the conclusion that the accomplishments of others would be the absolute best thing to watch, just in the background. Maybe some team winning some championship, or some person winning some championship, or this group of students discovered this, or these scientists invented this, or this accomplishment was made. Listening to those things, someone going out of their way to do something difficult and succeeding. I think that is the best kind of media I can watch in the background, because those things give you inspiration, those things make you more creative, and those things keep you abreast to the most cutting edge of strategies and mentalities of winners. Um, the way they talk, the way they look at the world, the way they look at problems, all those things, you can hear it in how they talk. And by having that subtly go into my mind while I'm doing something else, I think that's the best form of content that I could watch. It's not mindless, and it can be very entertaining. Watching some competition or whatever, someone playing I'm really starting to get into speedruns. Really starting to get into speedruns. I always kind of been into speedruns. I always thought it was fascinating that someone would dedicate so much time into becoming the undisputed best at one particular thing, at a game. I think that's really cool. And it's pretty inspiring and like amazing what they're able to accomplish. And I think that kind of content just in the back of my head while I'm doing my thing breeds a certain kinds of thoughts, just like red pill and all that stuff breeds kind of depression and skepticism and pessimism and all that stuff. Content that is exposing and talking about accomplishments of human beings, I think that can have the exact opposite effect of lifting you up, making you more creative, making you more excited to go out and learn and do things and add and contribute something to the world. So that's really it. Today wasn't a super crazy day. But it was a good day. And yeah, we're moving on forward. I keep saying this, but I hope tomorrow is the day that I finally do finish up all this cloud stuff. So cloud functions, databases, all these things. I hope I finish up with that so I can move on to the Discord bot. And that's going to be a whole journey, because I know absolutely nothing about Discord bots and programming those. Hell, I don't even know if they can like run HTTPS endpoints. right? So to call those APIs that I'm building, I don't even know if they could do that. I would assume they would. I think it would be wild if they weren't able to, but I don't know for sure. So I got my work cut out for me. This is gonna take, uh, you know, but my deadline is tomorrow, so I'm gonna try to do as much as I can for my deadline tomorrow, and we're gonna keep chugging. We're gonna keep going. Again, I just want to say, Neon Controller, for whatever reason, is going absolutely nuts. So many downloads a day, so thousands a day. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on, but I kind of wish that, low-key kind of wish that Neon was an app that was a little bit more broad. No, I don't wish it because it was a stepping stone, but it's kind of proof that if you make an app that works and has some sort of monetary flow through it and you can make money, you can, oh man, you can make a whole lot of money. Neon Controller isn't properly optimized for virality because it's such a niche market. But if you can make an app that is more general and you put in effective a payment flow, oh my gosh, you can make a killing. Passive income, it's wild. But yeah, I'm gonna try to take those lessons into the Neon Arcade. That's the name of my next app and the feature. I've settled on it. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I make these videos every single day. So if you enjoyed, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.